Well, the task for today is to take this plastic dog that I have, and I want to replicate it in cement. First of all, I have to make a plaster mold to later pour the cement into. I have a plastic container which I'm going to oil, and this way at least the mold won't stick to it. And what I did, I took the dog and I put a couple of pieces of wood under here, and that gave me a good 1/2 inch underneath the dog, so this way I'll have a nice solid plaster base. After that, I'm going to have to, after I pour the plaster, I'm going to have to just see if I can get that out of the plaster mold. That's going to be a challenge. I'm not sure where I'm going with this yet, but I'll surely find out. Okay, I oiled the plastic container. I also oiled the plastic dog. I used vegetable oil. I gave it a pretty good coating. I have the stones in there, and I'm ready to do the first pour. They say to pour 1/4 of the mold at a time, and I wasn't sure when I could pour the second coat, so I called them up and they said after around 15 minutes after it dries, then I could pour the second 1/4 in. Now I don't know how much this is going to get me, but I mixed 2 cups of plaster to a cup of water, which is the ratio that they said that I should be using, 2 to 1. Let's see what happens here. Well, I don't need a lot more plaster than what I just made. Alright, for now, I'll mix a couple more. Alright, based on that first pour, obviously that wasn't enough to really get in that mold, so I'm going to pour another batch in there. I made it a little looser this time. I added more water to it. Let's see what I get out of this. Boy, it's obvious I need a lot more plaster than I have. I bought 2 boxes and I'm almost through one of them already. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. Live and learn. I added more water to this pour. It was pretty thick. I think it was really too thick. Yeah, that looks better. Whether it dries better, we'll see. I made this pour a lot looser. I didn't like the way it was pouring. Oh, that's better. Well, the pouring is all done. It's been sitting here for about 3 hours. Seems like it's setting up pretty good. I'll give it till tomorrow and we'll see what we get out of it. Okay, it's the next day and everything hardened up pretty good. Unfortunately, this came off. So now I have to deal with that. I have to try to get the plastic dog out of the plaster now. Let me get this out first. Well, that worked. Now part B. Oh man. I feel it rocking. If I clear some of this plaster off of here. Well, as you can see, it didn't work out quite the way I planned it. It was just such a pain in the neck getting that plastic dog out. Had to come out in pieces. Maybe because the dog was just so old and dry that when I applied the vegetable oil to it, it soaked it in too much, and it didn't act like a good release agent. But what I'm now thinking back, I should have used Vaseline or something thicker, and that possibly would have helped me out a lot. But anyway, it's out, and took me over an hour to get it out, and at least I got a halfway decent mold. It didn't come out that bad. So now at this stage, what I did was I spray painted it with 2 coats of paint on there just to seal up the little pores that were in the plaster. And I'm going to use, like I said before, I'm going to try Vaseline this time and see if it releases it a lot easier. Let's see what happens. Anyway, doing the best I can here. Let's see what happens. Well, the project is done. As you can see, it kind of turned out alright, but not really. First of all, I had to break the plaster cast apart in half just to get the dog out. I kind of messed up a little bit because it was really hard getting it out of the plaster, even though I used a mixture of Vaseline and coconut oil to coat the plaster. I mean, it came out okay. It came out fairly easy once I broke the plaster in half. But as you can see, it's in 2 pieces. Anyway, the next little glitch was that when I made the cement, I put in 2 cups or 2 parts of play sand, and I mixed it with the cement, and that gave me such a very fine mixture. It's really just very sandy, and it's just crumbling. So that was another problem that I had, but live and learn, I guess. I probably should have used maybe pure cement when I was pouring the little dog here, and I should have probably, instead of the plaster, I should have made it out of the mold out of clay, or maybe the sand casting material. I think I would have had better luck with it. Well, it's done. It is what it is. I'm not too thrilled with it, but I did accomplish making the dog. So it is something. It was a learning curve, and I learned a lot from it. So I guess it's really a success. Anyway, I'll give it another shot. I want to get another dog that I can mold, and maybe I'll try it with either clay or the sand casting mix. That may work out better. The actual dog itself, because it was so old, the plastic was really dry and brittle, and that created problems too. So I ran into a few glitches and managed to overcome them, and this is what I have now. What I was thinking of doing was just taking a pure cement mixture, very fine, and brushing it over it, and that'll possibly soak in and make it a a harder mold. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, this is the end result of my work. It was hard getting there. It took me over an hour to just get it out of the plaster mold. But you know what? When you learn from something, hands-on experience is the best teacher. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I did. I learned quite a bit. For the next project, let's see what happens.